Karoline Leavitt stood at the edge of the courtroom, her heart pounding beneath a navy blue suit she had borrowed from a friend. The suit was a size too large, the sleeves slipping past her wrists, but her confidence filled the space the fabric couldn't. She had come to represent a struggling single mother who'd been wrongfully evicted, her first major pro bono case. The fluorescent lights above hummed faintly, but the tension in the room drowned everything out. It wasn't just any courtroom, it was Judge Ronald Beckman's, a man known more for his ego than his impartiality. The gallery was half empty, yet Karoline felt as though the whole world was watching. She took a deep breath as she walked to the podium, her notes clutched tightly in hand. This case wasn't just about rent arrears or landlord rights, it was about standing up for someone who had no voice. That woman, Jasmine, sat quietly in the back, holding her toddler, tears welling as Karoline stood to speak on her behalf. Judge Beckman leaned back in his chair, toying with a gold pen, his expression already dismissive. "Miss Leavitt," he said, his tone dripping disdain. "I understand this is your first time arguing in my court. Let's hope you're better at law than at choosing suits." The courtroom froze. A beat passed. Karoline blinked, stunned, not because of the insult, but because it came so brazenly, so publicly, and so pointlessly. Still, she smiled, lips trembling slightly. "With all due respect, Your Honor," she said, her voice steady, "I'm not here to win a fashion contest. I'm here to stand up for someone who's been denied justice." Somewhere in the back, a faint murmur rose, a whisper of approval, quickly silenced. Judge Beckman's face turned a shade of red that hinted he wasn't used to being challenged. "You'll show this court proper decorum or be held in contempt," he barked. Karoline nodded. "Understood. May I proceed?" She did. And with every minute that passed, her voice grew stronger. She presented the evidence, photographs of mold, testimonies from neighbors, proof that Jasmine had paid rent consistently until the building's plumbing collapsed and the landlord simply refused to repair it. Karoline painted a picture not just of legal injustice, but of moral failure. But Beckman wasn't moved. He dismissed the evidence with a wave of his hand, ruled in favor of the landlord without so much as a pause, and declared Jasmine's eviction final. Then, just before rising from the bench, he said, "If this is the quality of representation the bar is accepting now, I fear for the future of our legal system." It was a public shaming, meant to break her. But Karoline didn't break. She gathered her things quietly, walked over to Jasmine, and knelt beside her. "We'll appeal. This isn't the end," she whispered. Unbeknownst to her, someone else had been watching the entire scene from the shadows of the courtroom, Pam Bondi, the former Attorney General of Florida. She had stopped by the courtroom to meet a colleague but stayed when she recognized Karoline's name on the docket. Something about the girl intrigued her. Pam approached Karoline in the hallway. "You handled yourself with grace," she said, eyes narrowing slightly. "But what that judge did, that wasn't just unprofessional. It was unlawful." Karoline looked up, confused. "Unlawful?" Pam nodded. "Targeting you for your appearance, mocking you in open court, dismissing your case without proper consideration," he crossed lines. "And this isn't the first time. I've had whispers from other young female attorneys too afraid to speak up." That was the moment the tide shifted. Pam reached out, not as a politician, but as a mentor. She offered to help file a formal judicial complaint. Together, they gathered statements, court transcripts, video footage. It wasn't easy, most people were afraid of Beckman's influence. But Karoline's courage became contagious. Lawyers, clerks, even a bailiff came forward with stories of misconduct, stories that spanned years. Then came the breakthrough. One whistleblower provided audio recordings of Beckman making deals with landlords outside the courtroom, an explosive violation of judicial ethics. Pam didn't waste time. She marched straight into the district attorney's office, armed with evidence. The DA, initially skeptical, couldn't ignore what was laid before him. The arrest warrant was signed within hours. The next day, Just as Judge Beckman was walking into court, his robe flowing behind him like the cape of a monarch, 2 federal marshals intercepted him at the courthouse door. In front of cameras, reporters, and stunned onlookers, he was read his rights. The news exploded across the country: federal judge arrested for corruption and misconduct after insulting young lawyer in courtroom meltdown. But the headline was just the beginning. Karoline didn't gloat. She didn't revel in victory. Instead, she kept showing up, defending the vulnerable, standing for what was right. Her case with Jasmine was retried in a different courtroom. This time, the outcome was different. Jasmine won. She was granted damages for wrongful eviction, and the landlord was ordered to make repairs before renting again. In the weeks that followed, Karoline's name became a symbol, not of scandal, but of standing tall in the face of power. Interviews flooded in. Law schools invited her to speak. Pam Bondi officially offered her a mentorship position at her legal foundation. And yet, Karoline remained grounded. She visited Jasmine and her daughter often. They planted flowers together outside their new apartment. Simple moments. Moments that mattered. One afternoon, Jasmine's daughter handed Karoline a crayon drawing, stick figures of the 3 of them under a bright yellow sun, the words scrawled in a child's hand, "Thank you for saving us." Karoline choked back tears. In that instant, she realized something profound. Justice isn't always about courtroom victories. Sometimes, it's about showing up, especially when the world tries to push you down. In a time when the powerful often go unchecked, and the voiceless are too easily ignored, Karoline Leavitt chose to speak up. And because she did, the dominoes fell. Her story reminded a weary nation that courage is contagious, that kindness still matters, and that truth, when spoken boldly, has the power to break even the most unshakable walls. In the end, it wasn't just about a judge, or a courtroom, or even a victory. It was about one woman who refused to sit down, and in doing so, helped others rise.